Now that we've reviewed and interpreted political cartoons and reviewed a number of different political cartooning techniques, let's get started with the actual project. Remember, once you've completed this project, make sure you submit it by dropping it into the political cartooning drop box. In the political cartooning project, you are basically tasked with doing two things. The first thing you're going to do is browse the internet and search for a political cartoon that focuses on national identity in some manner. Once you've found a political cartoon that you think does focus on national identity, you need to begin analyzing this cartoon. The way you're going to do this is simply by answering the questions that are provided. For example, what is the topic or subject? Does the cartoon contain any characters? Is there any writing, such as titles, captions, or text? What symbols are used, if any? What do these symbols represent? What do you think is the central idea or message that the cartoonist is trying to communicate? Once you've answered those questions, you need to move on to a sixth question, in which you need to identify the strategies used by the cartoonist to convey or communicate the message. So, for example, what techniques are being used? What supporting evidence can you provide to illustrate that a particular technique is being used? The cartoon that you have selected should have, and no doubt will have, at least 4 or 5 different techniques being used. Remember, techniques such as ridiculous exaggeration, caricature, contrasting sizes, symbolism, hidden element, metaphor, stereotyping, and so on are examples that you might be able to find. Once you have done this, and once you have answered the question, you then will move on to the second part. In the second part of the project, what you will actually do is create a political cartoon for yourself. The political cartoon that you will create must deal with the topic of national identity in some way. In focusing on national identity, your political cartoon can focus on any one specific area or concept or event related to anything we've covered in Related Issue 1. So, for example, identity and culture, nation, nationalism, contending loyalties, reconciling loyalties, and so on and so forth. The political cartoon that you create must incorporate at least 5 cartooning techniques. So, for example, your cartoon will likely have captions and text of some kind. You may use caricature, ridiculous exaggeration, and so on. You're not expected to draw the cartoon yourself, although, if you are able to, you can. You can, however, use a computer to assist you in creating it. But you cannot use elements or ideas from any other previous cartoon or source of information. You can use picture art and so on and so forth, but the cartoon and its communication of its message must be your own. When you have completed your cartoon, you will write a paragraph in which you will describe the techniques you've used within the cartoon and explain what the central idea and message of your cartoon is. Also, and probably before you complete your own cartoon, you're going to write a paragraph related to the political cartoon you found on the internet. And you're going to do two things. First, you're going to explain what the message the cartoonist is attempting to convey is. And second, you're going to describe how the cartoonist uses the various techniques that he or she employed to convey the message within the cartoon. There will be a rubric used to evaluate and assess your work. You see it here. You may want to scan through the rubric to get a good idea of exactly how your cartoon will be assessed. Now you're ready to go. Good luck.